Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jesse Both from the 19th hole, and I'm here with our Monster Marsh rookie guide for the upcoming tournament. This course will be played on the same course as last year's Halloween tournament. The numbers have been changed on a few of the holes as far as the order goes, and it seems like maybe some of the greens have been flattened out a little bit, so we don't have quite as lumpy of greens on some of these holes, so that's definitely great for our approach shots. We're going to be talking about holes 1 through 9 here in this video. We're going to talk about the different routes that you can play, and we'll also talk about club and ball selection as well as elevation changes. This is a pre-tournament guide, so this is made without knowledge of the tournament wins, which is why it's going to be more of a generalized look at this course without specific how to play each hole. Once we know the wins, then we can start worrying about that and really fine-tune the way that we're going to play these shots and these holes. On Monday and Tuesday, I will be working on playthrough videos, which will be me playing rookie and pro. And at that point, I will know the win, so I will be able to be a little bit more specific on guidance and suggestions on how to play these holes. But for now, it's just going to be more of a generalized look, and we'll talk about the different routes, and then a little generalized look at club and ball selection and stuff like that. So be right back, and we'll go ahead and get started on the guide. Alright, so we're going to start off here with hole number 1. Off the tee box here, I want you all to play with plus 10% elevation, and you're going to play that one no matter which of these tee boxes you're playing from. In the rookie, you have basically two ways to play this hole. You can either play it with a long iron or a wood. And if you're going to play the long iron shot, it's going to be kind of a skip shot off this point right here. Over the rough to the green and then rolling out to the hole. You're going to want to use a ball with some side spin, so at least the Quasar. If you got a katana ball would be great for this hole as well. You don't want to use a really top spin or back spin on this shot, because this shot does play well without using any extra top or back spin. You just want to concentrate on the side spin towards the hole, and then concentrate on lining up that shot with your wind adjustment at plus 10%. The other option here is if you want to play your wood, a Viper, or even if you have a sniper, would be a great opportunity here for the rough bump here, if you want to try the rough bump strategy. I personally like the rough bump, and I think that's one of the best ways to play this hole, especially if you have a sniper with that ball guide. Do keep in mind, if you go with the Viper, the ball guide is definitely not going to be as fully developed, so you're going to have to kind of play that one by eye a little bit, you know. If you do, for some reason, have a long iron shot there, you're going to be using probably some in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 bars of topspin with that shot, and then with the wood, you know, somewhere between 1 topspin to 1 bar of backspin, depending on, you know, your landing spot and stuff like that. But definitely, high-level ball-guided clubs here are an advantage for this rough bump. For that shot, I would be using, you know, a ball like maybe the Quasar or the katana as well for that shot, and you don't really need the side spin, so you could even possibly think about maybe a navigator ball on that shot as well once you kind of get comfortable with the shot, just to kind of cut down that wind just a tiny little bit extra. So alright, we're going to move on to hole number 2 here, and here we go. Hole number 2, we got par 4, and this is quite an interesting hole for hole number 2 in my opinion. As far as your club selection goes, you want to take clubs with lots of backspin. So of course the Thorn would be a great choice. Long iron type clubs, the Saturn would be a really good club to use as well. And this was one of those holes that the green seemed kind of, what's the word I use, lumpy. I feel like they have flattened this green out somewhat, but you know, so you could definitely change to like maybe a backbone, or even go with your Goliath with not as much backspin. But if we do find out that these green screens still are as hilly as they were before, you definitely want to have a long iron with lots of backspin. I haven't played the hole yet to confirm it, just going off of secondhand information from what I've heard. So either way, you know, if the green is really hilly, then you're still going to need to play a shot with a lot of backspin. If not, you can try to, you know, play a shot off the fringe here. But as far as the drives go, the most conservative approach is going to be to the left side here. I would play this one at plus 10% off the tee box, and you're looking to land your shot somewhere right in there. You're going to bounce it over with full topspin and some right spin to take it up the fairway in this general direction. From there, you have your second shot either to the fringe, which it used to be, right in this section was the most consistent bounce. You want to look for a consistent bounce on your landing zone, somewhere that you can play the shot each time and then work on dialing in those spins and that hop. If you don't find a consistent landing zone, then it's going to be really hard and difficult to dial in a shot. If we get really nice wind, there is definitely a possibility with like a power 5 ball to possibly land your shot up in this little strip of fairway, and then from there bounce towards the green. You can get the bounce up to the green, and it's definitely possible. So keep that in mind. If you have a really nice wind that allows you to make a nice linear adjustment up and down this fairway stretch, that may be something to think about on this hole, is really just going for that all-out bomb to try to get yourself that eagle on this hole. So I have a feeling this is not going to be a highly eagled hole. So if you can find out a way to get this eagle, then that may be a really good option for you. As far as the ball goes, Quasars and Titan would be a great ball to use here. I would use a Titan at least if you want to try to go for anything big. Just remember, the farther you get down this left fairway, the better you're going to be in position to try to go for a shot at the green. And of course, if you're going to go to the right side, then you're definitely going to have to look at the higher level power balls. Power 3 with really high level clubs, or maybe even power 4, power 5, if you start, having lesser clubs and needing to make up for that distance. For the second shot, from this location right here, we're going to say 0% for that second shot. All right, hole number 3. This is a hole that we've had many times. From the rookie tee, you can play this shot with a quarterback or an extra mile if you want. I like the quarterback just because, if you have the opportunity to use 100% accuracy club, then why not do it? You want a ball with side spin, so we're looking at katana balls and Titan balls. We want to take our shot off of this fairway with a little bit of left to right wind. You're not going to need much curl. If you have any kind of a right to left wind, then you want to definitely use some right curl to kind of counteract that shot, because you do want your ball to be carrying in this general direction. Okay, you're going to bounce somewhere in here and then wholly roll up the fairway. The reason why you do want to use curl is because you don't want to accidentally grade left, or if you have right to left wind, allow your ball to carry into this bunker right here. That would not be a good thing. So for your second shot, if you have the Viper or the Sniper, those will definitely be great options. If you don't have those leveled up, then you can always just go with a big dog and play it safe. But you will be landing your shot in that fairway with some spin towards the hole. Generally, for your second shot, it's going to be a wood club, and it's going to be some left spin and some backspin going towards the hole. And you really just have to kind of line up that ball guide as best as you can, because it's not going to be fully developed. So you kind of just have to kind of eyeball that to the best of your ability. If for some reason your drive does end up short, maybe it hits this rough and just kind of rolls out to this general area, you're probably not going to have the distance to get to that spot right there. In that situation, you will have to bounce your shot over the rough with topspin and some left spin to try to direct that shot towards the hole. At that point, I would say concentrate on the eagle and don't, try as hard for the albatross, because sometimes if you try to create something out of nothing, you end up with something that you don't want. So in that situation, be safe and get your eagle. Don't worry about the albatross. The only time you need to worry about the albatross is when you are actually farther up in this fairway with your drive, and you actually do have a chance to go directly over that rough to bounce it and then go towards the hole. That's going to give you your best chance at an albatross here on this hole. There's really not any other ways to play this hole in the rookie. in my opinion. I think basically that's going to be your best bet for this hole. Hole number 4, personally one of my favorite holes, and you can play this hole with the extra mile, or you can play this one with the quarterback. Now, if you use an extra mile, you may not have to use a really good ball, but if you want to use the quarterback, then the ball selection may be, you may need to use a little bit higher level of a ball to give you that extra distance. The drawback of the quarterback is the backspin, but the advantage of the quarterback is the ball guide. So, you have to kind of measure what do you want more of? Do you want the backspin or do you want the ball guide? Your landing zone is going to be in this area no matter what club you use. You want your ball guide to go over this bunker, and then your landing zone is going to be just on the other side of this bunker right here. Now, having that left spin and that back spin is key, because when that ball hits that second bounce, you want the shot to be able to grip the fairway and kind of thrust it towards the pin that way. That's what you really want, is that shot that hits, and then with that back spin and that left spin kind of really just directs that ball more towards the pin. Now, it's possible, that you may not be able to get really close to the pin in rookie, because you do have limited resources as far as like your backspin goes on your clubs. But if your safest play is just to kind of play your shot off here to the edge of the fringe, that's definitely a great play still. It's a very easy chip to the hole. Don't get overly aggressive with your shot and end up back here in this rough. That's something you don't want to do, and you definitely don't want to end up in that bunker. So trying to find the happy medium of what best fits your clubs is what you want to do here on this hole. What I'm basically saying is don't try to push something that's not there. Play the shot that you have available to you. So ball wise, I would say Katana and Titan ball are great balls on this hole. If there's any doubt in your distance of your club, definitely just go for the Titan ball. This is a must eagle hole, and it's a hole that if you do not eagle it both times, you're going to have a really tough time getting a banner, in my opinion, in this course. This is definitely a hole that's set up for you to like eagle, just like you're supposed to get a birdie, at least on a par 3, All right, another option would be the rough bump here. It's not really one of my favorite options, not one that I've used in a long time, but it's still an available option. It's a play you'd play with 3 to 4 bars of topspin, and basically you want to hit in that rough and then bounce the shot out towards the hole that way. And that's a shot you'd play with the extra mile. As far as elevation goes, it's going to be a plus 20% across the board here on this hole. So definitely a hole that's great to see played before you play it. So if you haven't seen it played, you can always go back into my YouTube channel and check out my Ghostly Glades tournament from last year. I played rookie, pro, and expert in that tournament. And there is also like a rookie playthrough and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be a great place to go and freshen up on what this course looks like in the way that I played the holes. So the Ghostly Glades tournament was the name of the tournament. So if you search for that through my channel, you should be able to find some of the older videos and content. It's going to be pretty much the same. All right, next hole here is hole number 5. And we got a par 5 here. As far as the ways to play this hole, you can play it to the right side, or you can play it to the left side. Now, if you're going to play it to the right side, you're going to be trying to land it somewhere in here with top spin and left spin, and trying to direct it as far up that fairway as possible. You want to get as far up to the front left as you can without going too far into the rough here. So definitely be careful with the amount of top spin you do use. And you're going to play this shot with a plus 10% plus 10% adjustment. Sorry about that. Yeah, plus 10% adjustment. So I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 5 bars of top spin and max left spin. So I like a Quasar or a Katana for this shot. You could also use a little bit of curl as well to try to get that shot in position. And then for the second shot to there, you're going to be using your Viper or your Sniper and going straight at the hole. You're going to bounce it on this fairway, up through these trees, bushes. Those bushes I don't think can knock your shot down. They're just kind of there for the look. And then hopefully, possibly roll this one in for an albatross. Another really good albatross attempt here on this course. So with a tailwind, you'll be using about 1 bar of backspin on that wood shot. And then with a headwind, you'll be using about 1/2 to 1 bar topspin on that shot. If you have some sort of a side wind, it's not a shot that you play with any kind of top or backspin. For the second shot, though, I would play 0% for this second shot. So 10% on the first shot, 0% elevation on the second shot. The other option on this hole is to play it to the left side. If you have some sort of a nice tailwind, and maybe you want to use a power ball, this is possibly an option here. You'll bounce it on the fairway, up and over the water in the rough, and then land the shot, roll it up the fairway. From there, you're going to have a backspin shot with your long iron. So I would say this would be like a Saturn shot towards the hole. In the higher level divisions, and possibly in the rookie division if you have good enough clubs, there's also going to be a rough bump opportunity right here for this shot with like a Goliath. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as well. If you do have higher level clubs in the rookie, there's always that rough bump opportunity for you there. Also, 0% for the second shot on the left side as well, just like on the right side. Hole number 6 is a par 3. This is a par 3 that we've seen many times in tournaments. Plus 20% is the elevation change here. And in the rookie, more than likely you're going to be playing a wood shot. You're going to be landing your shot in the fairway here, left of that bunker, and then you're just going to be using backspin and right spin to try to guide this shot towards the hole. So your first bounce is going to be a pretty high bounce, and then it's going to bounce again, and then hopefully have that directed towards the hole. When you're lining up this shot, you want the tip of your ball guide to be just there on the, like, pointed over the edge of the fringe right here, because you do want to expect a little bit of a rollout here. The green does slope down towards the hole from the top, but then once you get past the hole, it slopes away from the hole, which will leave you a fairly decent sized putt on the back edge of that green if you do miss long. Most of the time that ball will funnel to the back of the green and just stop right before the edge of the fringe, leaving you one of those putts that you don't want to have to putt for birdie. That's really all I got to say about that. All right. So that's basically the way you're going to play this one in the rookie. If you have the Viper or the Sniper, those are the clubs that I would suggest using on this hole. Hole number 7, and this hole right here, you could have you can play it several different ways. In the rookie, there is a possible big topper shot that you can play, where you bounce the shot right here off this area of this little island fairway, and full top spin. You're going to bounce it over. You're going to land on this little island, and it bounces over, hits the rough, and then rolls onto the hole, onto the green. This is a very tough shot to play. A lot of times you're going to have to push your shot into overpower and then adjust back the wind during the shot. And it's definitely a perfect ball, perfect shot. If you don't hit perfect, then you're going to be splashing in the water most likely on the shot. So it's very risk versus reward. If you feel like you have a really good knack for the perfect ball, it may be a really good play for you and something worth considering. We're going to play this hole at, let's see, what did I say on this hole? Plus 10% off the tee box, and then our second shot up here will be 0%. So the other option to play here on this hole is going to be playing with top spin and left spin. I would like a ball with a lot of good left spin, because you do want to try to steer clear of this bunker right here. So for that reason, you're going to have to come with a little bit of left curl to bounce on this fairway island here, over and then up this fairway. You want to get as far up the fairway as you can, because you want to stay out of the line of those trees. The farther up you go, the straighter of a shot you have to the green, And this is one of those greens that I've been told that has been flattened out, so you don't have quite the same lumpiness on the green. So that's going to make that shot where you bounce it on the fringe here and then roll it to the hole much easier, because before we had to try to go for the dunk here to really have a logical chance at dropping this eagle. But if they did flatten out these greens like I've been told they have, then that'll make this shot much easier going forward. If they haven't, then I would definitely recommend the full backspin shot or the dunk with your thorn on this hole. Also, it would be a great hole to bring your Saturn along if you're going to be playing any kind of backspin shot or dunk, because without the backspin of the Saturn, I don't think any of the other long irons have the backspin to keep that shot out of this rough if you do miss the dunk attempt. But hopefully they flatten them out and we'll just be able to play the shot off the fringe. Alright, next hole we got hole number 8. And this is a par 3. And this is actually a kind of fun par 3. I've always enjoyed this par 3. Plus 10% off the tee box. And for the ball choice here, this is one of those holes where you can be in between clubs right here on this island. So sometimes the lower the ball, the better your chances are to play this shot, depending on what kind of a wind we have. If we have some kind of a side headwind, then we're going to have to look at the a wood. If we have a tailwind, though, then you can play a long iron on this shot. Long iron shots will be landing back here. Wood shots will be landing up here. So just keep that in mind. Depending on what kind of wind we have, will definitely predict the type of shot we can play. But then we always have the ability to go down lower on balls to be able to kind of get our clubs within that that zone again to be able to use them. But yeah, I would use probably power 0 ball here. You can try to look at a power 1 ball like a Quasar or Navigator, but I do think that's going to put you in between clubs and force you to use a long iron. So if you do want to use a wood, definitely going to be looking at those power 0 balls. For the shot, you know, it's a fairly straightforward shot. There's really not a whole lot to go here. If you're going to be using a long iron like the Goliath, your shot's going to be landing pretty straightforward shot towards the hole here. A couple bars of topspin is what you're going to be using with the Goliath. And as far as your side spin goes, you know, you're really just going to be kind of looking at kind of an offset here. If you have a side wind, you're going to want to play kind of a little bit of an offset on this hole. If you're going to be playing with the wood, then you're going to be playing with, it depends on what kind of wind we have. So if you have a tailwind, you're going to be playing with maybe just a little tiny bit of topspin. Or no, if you have a tailwind, you're going to be playing with backspin, somewhere between 1 to 2 bars of backspin. With a headwind, you're going to be playing with maybe a little bit of topspin. And with a crosswind, then you're not going to be playing with much spin at all. So if I had to guess, I would say we're going to get some sort of a little bit of a tailwind. So we'd be looking at playing some backspin with our wood shot. This is definitely a shot that you can try to aim it right at the hole and hope to get the drop, but I've always remembered this hole as requiring just like a tad bit of offset on the shot. Alright, last and final hole here is hole number 9, and this is par 5. This hole right here gives you the chance to really go for the possibility of maybe getting the albatross. If you do want to try for the albatross, you're definitely going to have to play it to the left side. And in rookie, that may require you using like a power 4 or power 5 ball, because you will need to take your drive to bounce it off this fairway and over this water and then up the fairway as far as you can, because the farther up the fairway puts you in a better line for that second shot with your Viper or your Sniper to the hole. I prefer the Sniper there, but the Viper also will work if you want to use the Viper as well. For the tee shot, plus 10%. And then for the second shot is going to be 0% for the second shot. Now, if you want to play the shot to the right-hand side, which I believe is more of the conservative route, I would definitely recommend bringing the big dog for that shot. Because basically what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be bouncing your shot over the water here and laying it up short right in this area right here. You can try to go for more of a roll out up to this area right here. I think it's much more dangerous though with this rough and this bunker. I don't think it really puts you in that much better of a position, and it won't increase really your albatross chance in that hole. So really it's just kind of a risk that, in my opinion, is not needed. I would definitely go with a higher level power ball on this hole no matter which way you play it. You do want that Titan ball and that power for that second shot for sure. And you know, you need that curl as well, because what you're going to have to do on the second shot is you're actually going to have to take your shot with the big dog, because in lower levels the only real club that has power and curl is the big dog. You have to play your shot up here, land it somewhere in this zone with left spin and a little bit of topspin to maybe a little bit of backspin, depending on where you're going to land the shot. That spin really depends on your landing zone. But you want to use the curl because you want to direct that ball around these trees and towards the hole. Getting on the green is best case scenario, but a lot of times people will end up just off the edge of the green and then be in range for a short chip. I definitely recommend making sure you use enough curl, because the last thing you want to do is end up in the rough or this bunker over here to the right hand side. That will really mess up this hole for you. Definitely an eagle hole you don't want to see turn into a birdie hole for you. So make sure you use that curl, make sure you use that left spin, and make sure you use whatever you can do to keep that shot away from that bunker. There are trees right here, as you can see, so that can also affect the shot. And I don't know, it's one of those holes where you feel like you're conservatively playing it to the right hand side, but then you get to that second shot and you sit there and you look at yourself and you think, wow, the second shot's really not that easy and I don't have much of a payoff for it. So it sometimes gets to that point where you think, maybe I should just play it to the left side. At least I have a chance at an albatross going that way. But it really depends on your clubs and the balls you have available to you, because without a power 5 ball, it would probably be a max overpower shot with your extra mile, especially if you have rookie level extra miles. And that's, you know, it's a tough shot to make, because your landing zone on your drive to the left is not that great. You know, you're going around rough here. You've got the bunker and the rough line right there, so it really narrows down the window that you have to place your shot. So it's really a tough ending hole, I think. And it could be a hole where you say you end up going left and getting the albatross and winning a banner because of it. It's just very vital to decide what is your best play here on this hole. So anyways, that's holes 1 through 9. Hopefully you all learned a couple things. Appreciate y'all being here. If you haven't checked out my Facebook page yet, it is Golf Clash the 19th Hole. You can find that in the search bar. If you want to find me on social media, you can go back to the beginning of the video. I have the links to my social media pages, and you can friend me on those pages. So if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. It helps the video surface faster in YouTube for other people to see it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, man, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and also set up your notifications so that you can be alerted when I do release new videos. And I also stream live during the week. Once again, we will be doing rookie playthrough Monday, pro playthrough either late Monday or during the day on Tuesday, and then Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night will be expert live streams, and then we will do our Sunday live stream on the weekend round, hopefully pursuing some sort of medal, preferably a gold one. All right, y'all, take care. Have a good day. God bless.